Hi, it's Dot from Ink Art Designs, and today we're going to make a card with Lavinia stamps. The stamp that I've chosen for today's demo is Astrid. I just love her hair. Beautiful, beautiful hair. We're going to use a couple of stencils as well. This is white Orbs, and this one is called Flora. So they're the two stencils that we'll be using for this demo. The card that we're using is the Multifarious card from Lavinia. It's 330 gram weight, so it can take water. And our background is going to be a water-based technique using distress inks. So I'll take you down to the table and we'll get started. Okay, so I've got my card cut up. I'll put that to the side. And the first thing we need, I'm using bundled sage, and I'm just going to swish it or swipe it across my craft sheet, and a bit of peeled paint. Just 2 tones of green, and swish that across the craft sheet and spritz it with water. The amount of water that you use is enough until the ink beads up. That's all you need really. And then you grab the card. Where my thumbs are going is where I want it to stay white. So if I put my thumbs there, no ink can go there. Turn the card over and swipe through and tap and swish it around and dry it with a heat tool. Apologies for the noise. You can see it's really quite wet. Just push the ink around in different directions. Both colours being green, it doesn't matter too much if they mix, so that makes it easy. With a bit of paper towel, I might just take off the excess ink, like that. This is what I have so far. Now I'm just going to dip it into some drops that we've got left on the craft sheet. See if we can pick up some nice droplets. And dry them off as well. And you keep doing this. You keep on adding droplets. Just checking my card to make sure where I'm putting the drops. This is it so far. We'll dry that off as well. Takes a little while. But layer by layer, it's slowly building up the background. You can see, I can see some really interesting marks starting to appear. So I'll give you a close-up on that. Turn that over. This is how it's looking so far. So you can see there's lots of little interesting pops of green starting to happen. But I'll pick up some more off the craft sheet because it's already down there. We might as well use some of it. Okay. And you could do this 3 or 4 times. You could do this half a dozen times. It doesn't really matter. Put the heat tool to the side, dab any wet marks. I'll clean my craft sheet while I'm at it. There we go, nice and easy. Oops, I can see in the light a bit of water glistening, so I'll dab that and I'll just dry it one more time. You'll see the card buckle up. See, it has a bit of a buckle, so you turn it over and apply the heat to the other side, and it flattens the card back down again, which is really handy. See, what's straighter. Now that's what we have. How pretty is that? Very quick and very easy. The next thing we're going to do is ink up our beautiful Astrid. The ink that I'm using is Versafine Clair. And it's a new ink pad, so it's nice and juicy. And I just tap it all over. Make sure it's really wet. I don't want to miss any of this gorgeous design. I picked this stamp because of her flowing hair. I just think she's so, so pretty. So So pretty. Now, being a clear stamp, I can see where I'm going to place her. So I think I might place her right there. And then nice firm pressure, allowing at least 10 seconds for the ink to transfer into the card. Pressing all over, I can see where the inky places are on the stamp, so I'm just giving them a bit of extra pressure. Make sure that they stamp out properly, and I think that should be enough time. Release and lift. And there we have the beautiful, beautiful Astrid stamped across that gorgeous inky background. We'll just quickly dry her. And on the back. Okay. What I'm going to do at this stage, there are a couple of different things that we can do. I thought it would be fun to do a bit of stenciling. So with the Flora stencil, where I've got the green areas, I want the stencil coming out. So it'll go over the green and then come out from the green as well. That should give it a nice flowing effect. So we'll place our stencil like so. And I'm going to do her in peeled paint. Put some ink, tap it off. It's always a good idea to just tap off any excess. Sometimes the ink pads can be quite juicy. Now I'm just applying the ink not onto the image itself. I don't want it onto the image. I might just take it lightly down there, take it in close to her. I can lift that up and have a look. I'll just put some more up there. I like using the round blending tool for this because it gets into all the nooks and crannies that are on the stencil. So over here there's some green ink, so I'm going to do some tone on tone stenciling into those areas as well. Just carefully and lightly. And lift. I can't see anything there, so I'll just put some more, holding it down and lift. Oh, pretty. And I'm going to take this up ever so lightly, light as a feather, fanning out the ink up there into the top corner, just so it fades away. There's some green ink down here, so I'm going to put a bit of stenciling down in that area as well. So this is just called tone on tone stenciling. And I think that should be enough of that one. And I'll show you how that's looking so far. Tone on tone stenciling. It's a beautiful way to add a little bit of detail to your card. I thought it would be fun also to add some circles. So we'll do that at this stage. We're going to go in with, put the lid back on the paint, on the peeled paint ink pad. We're using Ground Espresso Distress ink for this one. Again, this is quite a dark colour, as you can imagine. This stencil from Lavinia has all these different shaped or sized circles on it, so we're going to be using a large one and some small ones. So what I might do is pop a large one up here into that white space. Just gentle circular motions. Careful not to go on to the other, because like I got a little bit of that one, so we'll go there. We're going to be putting some brown ink through her hair, so I thought the brown circles would be a beautiful way to bring the whole lot together. Over here on the side, and another circle down there as well. Just gently. If you go in lightly with the colour, you can then decide if you want to go back in and add a bit more at a later stage. You can sort of work out how the hair is working for you, and then you think, oh, I might make the circles a bit darker. It's easy to match the stencil back up. with the dots that you've got in place. And I think that's, well, we might throw a couple down here, just a couple of small ones across the bottom. Just gently does it. There we go. Beautiful. Put the lid back on the ink because I finished using that one, and put that aside. So this is how Astrid is looking at the moment. Don't the circles make a difference to the card? I'm going to just wipe down my craft sheet because I've been using distress ink on the craft sheet. It's a little bit dirty and I don't want it to be mixing with the next lot of colours that I use. Okay, water on the craft sheet. Grab a brush and some paper towel, which I have here. And being distress ink, I can lift some of the colour off the card. So I paint the water on to the face and dab. And you can see how the green's lifted off. And you can just lighten any ink that's on her face, because we want to colour that with skin tone later on. And just keep on working it. It might take 3 or 4 goes, but you'll get there. And I want to take it off the eyes, and I might take it off her neck as well. I don't mind if there's a little bit on there, doesn't look too bad. You can't control where the ink is, really. Might clean up under her nose because otherwise she might look like she's got a cold. Okay. Can you see how she's looking at the moment? So the face is starting to stand out. And again, I'll clean my craft sheet of the water. The next thing I'm going to do is with my white gel pen. This is the Uniball pen, which I have in the shop at eCut Designs. I'm going to pick out a few strands of her hair and paint some white highlights. I just think, just to bring that white from the background and take a bit of the green away. One of the beautiful things about this stamp is the strands of hair. There's nice long pieces that you can just follow around with your gel pen. And a bit more there. Okay. Where else can I put? Here's a nice hair strand coming up here, so I might follow that one around with the white gel pen as well. And just little by little. No rush. Just like that. And where else? Let's go here. And this strand here, if we follow it back, we can take that to there. And up there. And we might put a highlight through here just to balance it out. Oh, I like that. Just that hint of white. The other thing that we're going to put into her hair is some brown, just to bring that brown into the image that we've got with the white orb stencil. Again, I've just squished some, what am I using? Gathered twigs. Spritz it with the water just to the side of the ink, and then with the brush use it like a watercolour. And I can go in and just add a little bit of brown just through the hair randomly. I like to do things random. I think once you start getting complicated, it takes the fun out of it. Well, it does for me. So then I'm just looking for where the hair strands are finely together. So that tells me hair is thicker in those areas, and I'm adding just a hint of brown to those areas. So not being too fussy, just adding those little tiny bits of brown. And it doesn't matter if you've got darker bits in some areas and lighter bits in others, because that's a bit like how our real hair is anyway. You know, hair isn't one colour, is it? It's all different colours, all different shades. Okay, so I think that might be enough. I just wanted to have a hint of brown through her hair. Then I'll wipe the craft sheet again. And now I'm going to use Spectral Noir glitter pens. In this set, this is Neon Lights. It's got a lovely green, and it has a lovely sparkle in the pen. So I'll just get it running, and I thought it might be nice to give her some nice lipstick with a bit of glitter, and also just add maybe some little bits of green through her hair, just to have a bit of sparkle. And I'm just doing it here and there. I don't think it needs too much, just a hint. Just up there. And maybe there. And that's all I'm going to do for her. So this is what it looks like so far. She's got the white gel pen in her hair. We've made a wash with the Ground Espresso Distress ink and added some brown. And I've just put in some highlights of green as well. Now for her face, my favourite way to tint a face and give it a lovely skin tone is with tea dye Distress ink. And the same as before, squish it on the craft sheet, spritz off to the side. You can see a bit of green, I don't want that. Make sure my brush is clean. Get a nice watery amount of paint and just tint her skin in a skin tone like that. And I'll go down and just quickly do her neck. I might like to come in, if you want to feel a little bit more arty, come in and just give her darker areas, just a bit more shadow. And I might do it, it's always nice to put a bit of a shadow around the neck as well. I'm not too fussy with this part. It's just where you think you might like it to make the face look more rounded. Okay, so this is Astrid so far. So we have coloured her face, coloured her hair, and we've added to the background. Now, I thought while we've got the Spectral Noir pen, I might add a bit of glitter down onto this part around her neck, just to add a bit of sparkle. There we go. So this, I'm not a glitter person, but a little bit of sparkle is not a bad thing. The next thing we're going to do is go around the edge of the card and frame the card. It's always nice, sometimes if your hands are a little bit moist, there's moisture on them and you might not even realise it, and it can affect the distress ink. So I like to just use a paper towel, turning the card as I go, gentle circles, starting on the craft sheet, and bring the circles on and go around. Bring that in like that. Just create a frame, turning the card and working your way around the edges. I think that's nearly enough. The colour I'm using is Bundled Sage. I think I forgot to mention that. Okay, not too much more of that one. And then I'm going in around the edge again to bring that brown that we've used in just a couple of places. I want to be able to still see the green, so I'm just kissing the edge with a little bit of ground espresso distress ink. Beautiful. And I'll show you how that's looking so far. So we've framed the card, and being Lavinia, it's good fun to just throw on some words. So I'm going to do them in two colours. The stamp that I'm using, I haven't got the cover for you. It's called See a Fairy Make a Wish. And for this one, I'm using Oxides. This one is Forest Moss Distress Oxide. And I'm just going to put some random words in a couple of places to add to the frame. I'm not re-inking as I go. I don't want to overdo it. I tend to overdo it, so I'm trying to be really, really careful. Oops. Okay, which way is up? And a few words down along the bottom, because that helps ground her to the base of the card. And I'll put some more words down there as well. And up there. So this is how our card is looking. If I wanted to, I could go in and add some darker colours. We may as well do that. It won't hurt, will it? Because she's been stamped in black, it's nice to have a little bit of black somewhere on the card just to balance her out so she doesn't look like she's been just stamped into the middle of a card. So I'm going to use Hickory Smoke, which is not black, it's grey. It's a dark grey, and again in Oxides, because Oxides stamps out beautifully. Make sure I can see which way the words are facing, and I don't mind if I overstamp where I've already got some stamps. Just like that, just to add a hint of grey. Like that. And I might even put some there. And I think I'll stop there. And that is our finished card, quickly thrown together using distress inks and Distress Oxides and Lavinia stamps and stencils and cardstock. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.